Alright, so I'm going to list a few incredible anime, and I want you to figure out what they all have in common. Ready? Okay. Neon Genesis Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Code Geass, Gurren Lagann, Angel Beats, Madoka Magica, Vivi Fluorite Eyes Song. Have you figured it out yet? Well, I mean, the title of the video already kinda gave it away, so I guess my joke is, a little ruined now. But these are all original anime series. Top tier ones at that too. I'm someone who can't recommend original anime enough, but if listing off a bunch of titles with little else about them hasn't convinced you to watch more of these, then maybe a little video deep dive will. An original anime series is pretty self-explanatory. It's a show that an individual director or particular studio produces which is of their own original idea, as in, it's not an adaptation of any previous work. It's no secret that a good 85% of anime is adapted from something else, most of the time manga. These tend to be the anime that gain the most outreach due to factors like better merch and manga sales and having a built-in audience. Anime adapted from manga, light novels, and games are great. I'll make that clear. Many of my favorite anime are adaptations. This video isn't meant to put down any kind of anime. It's more to highlight some of the advantages that come with watching original anime, and also spotlight a few amazing people and studios that are creating these stories. So, what are the advantages to watching original anime? Well, to start, there's the obvious. You're watching something that's created for the screen. These are stories that are meant to be told through the specific medium that is anime. So the experience is much different from watching something that's been adapted from a different media. You might notice that a lot of original anime tend to be told in only 13 to 26 episodes rather than multiple seasons. Anohana's story was completed in as little as 11 episodes, which is a good thing because I don't think my heart could have emotionally handled more than that. It's a very sad anime. I think watching something like Attack on Titan is a vastly different experience from watching something like Anohana. Okay, that's actually a really bad comparison, so for this case, let's say Attack on Titan versus Evangelion, an emotional teen protagonist versus supernatural forces anime. Let's go with that. When I say it's a different experience, I don't really mean the story, because both of these anime have great stories. It's more about things like expectation. Or maybe a lack of expectation is a better way to put it. And this especially rings true for manga readers. When you sit down to watch an anime like Attack on Titan, it might not be quite as easy to simply sit back and enjoy, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking about those preconceived expectations. Will it follow the manga? If it doesn't, will the changes it makes be acceptable enough to make the anime still enjoyable? What if the anime gets ahead of the manga due to high demand for more seasons and they need to fill those gaps with more filler? What if the opposite happens and the anime only gets one season because it's promoting the manga and we never get a satisfying conclusion? What if it pulls a Full Metal Alchemist 2003 or whatever BS The Promised Neverland did and goes completely off the rails? What if your favorite arc never even gets adapted? Am I making you guys anxious with all of these hypothetical questions? Good. It's my job to scare you mortals. Devil emoji. With original anime, you don't really have to think about any of these things. You can just enjoy the ride as it happens. My good friend Spike Spiegel put it perfectly.
Whatever happens, happens.
There's absolutely no expectation going in, which I think makes for a really freeing and pleasurable anime watching experience. If I had to look at Evangelion or Cowboy Bebop under a microscope like that, while also dealing with all of the existential dread those anime put me through, I would probably go insane. More insane than I already am. This sense of freedom also allows each new episode to feel like its own event, allowing fans to create their own discussions on things like theories and speculations, since they have, well, absolutely nothing to go off of. While Madoka was airing, fans were pulling from things like German folklore, Faust, and color theory to support their specula for what they think would happen next. The best part of all, no spoilers to worry about. Well, unless some funny man tries to leak the episode, of course. Don't be the funny man.
I think a good comparison of expectations versus just watching it because it's an original anime is Magia Record.
Every episode was just like an introductory episode.
It feels like a gacha game with side story.
No, it's unfortunate. I haven't even played the gacha game, but this was just not a good introduction. There's also the matter of pacing. This is a bit of a personal issue, but sometimes I get frustrated with a shonen anime that spends about 3 episodes on one single fight when it really doesn't need to. Sometimes a scene or a fight in an arc that's paced really well in a manga might not translate the same way on screen because, well, they're so different. This isn't always the case, of course, but it does seem to be pretty common, especially in adaptations that span multiple seasons. The great thing about an original anime, by comparison, is that since it's meant for the medium of anime, the pacing is going to be more well-suited for it. The story of Great Pretender felt so cohesively told in 23 episodes because it was planned that way. It didn't need any more than that to accomplish what it was going for, so there was never a moment that felt awkwardly paced or a plot line that needed more or less episodes than it had to make it feel complete. Speaking of animation, that's another strong advantage to originals. Being created for a TV screen means that the anime has more freedom to take advantage of being, well, an anime. With something like Samurai Champloo, where there was such a heavy focus on fighting styles and their rhythms have worked better as a manga, hell to the no! It's so hard to convey those movements without seeing the actual movement happening in front of you. There are some exceptions, of course, like One Punch Man's fluid movements, but as we know, Yusuke Murata was already known to be someone who had a sense for dynamic framing. There's also more room for experimentation. With that lack of expectation, we get anime like Paranoia Agent, where all different art and animation styles are explored to help bend the rules of reality and our own minds. Pretentious statement alert coming. We're not just getting an anime, we're getting an experience. Crystal is ready to kick me out of her home now.
Oh my god, that was so...
I'm sorry. I have to have one pretentious film student statement per video.
1-star experience? Would you put it in your mouth?
I'd put 5 of them in my mouth.
I mean, listen to Beyond the Podcast.
Listen to Beyond the Podcast. I promise we're coming back soon. Of course, with all of these advantages, there's also a lot of risk involved. Since there is no source material to go off of, it can make these anime a much harder sell to people. A lot of people love the My Hero Academia manga, so of course they're going to watch the anime and make sure it gets more seasons. Something like Princess Tutu or Wonder Egg Priority is definitely going to be harder to market unless the creators come up with like some sort of elaborate PR bonanza. So that is why I am making this video. If I was able to convince you to watch more original anime with these reasons, then it only seems fair that I give you all some of the best recommendations of directors and studios that specialize in incredible original animation. For directors, of course I have to give a shout out to one of my favorites, Mr. Shinichiro Watanabe. He's famous for some of the most classic and completely original anime you can think of. Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Terror in Resonance. Most recently, he directed the gorgeous Carol and Tuesday, which I really can't recommend enough, especially to music lovers. If you enjoy stories that combine timeless musical stylings with classic movie genres and have a ton of heart and soul in them, and also a lot of Yoko Kanno, then Watanabe anime are the ones for you. Adding on to that, the studio responsible for Bebop, Studio Sunrise, is a huge powerhouse for original anime. You name it, they probably had a hand in it. Gundam, Code Geass, Tiger and Bunny, The Vision of Escaflowne, and Love Live are just a small handful of titles by Sunrise that are original works. Yes, I was today years old when I learned that this studio is responsible for releasing fucking Love Live into the world. I had no idea it was an anime first. I thought it was like a rhythm game, like yeah, no, Love Live, it's like a whole franchise. They got the newest Love Live group out. It's the dumbest anime I've ever seen. I love it. Thanks, Adrian.
But do they have figurines?
They do, and I have one.
Please tell me it's not in that jar. That's not, no.
It was bacon fat in the jar. And no, it's not in there.
In Dorrie's house. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a jar in my house full of bacon fat and it looks like something else. Gen the Butcher Urabuchi is a well-known writer responsible for 2 of my favorite originals, Madoka and Psychopaths. As you can guess, his material is a bit on the darker, shall I say, more gory side. You know, the stuff that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. If you like anime that explore darker themes and speak upon more of our unsavory desires, then check out Urabuchi's body of work. Studio Trigger has got to get a big shout out here, as most of their anime are original and they're considered to be the successor of Studio Gainax, which is responsible for original giants like Fooly Cooly, Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, and Gurren Lagann. Ever heard of a little anime called Kill la Kill? How about Brand New Animal, Darling in the Franxx, Promare? These are all highly successful and influential anime known for their style and fluid animation that could only work on the screen.
You said Promare. I was like, oh look, Leo's right there.
Where's Leo? Oh, there's Leo. Hello, Leo. These anime are really fun to watch with friends because, let's be honest, the hype is just too real. Weekend watch party anime, if you will. Finally, this is a single standalone anime that I just really have to give its own shout out to because it's my anime of the year. Guys, please watch ODDTAXI. It's an original and oh my gosh, it represents everything that I love about original anime. It has such a visual style. It has complex, interesting characters. It has some of the tightest and sharpest dialogue I've ever seen in an anime. It has a porcupine that raps all of his lines. And it weaves every single one of its mysteries and oddities together so beautifully in only 13 episodes. Please do not be put off by the talking animals. It runs so much deeper than that and there isn't a single dull moment. Watch ODDTAXI. Okay, I think I've made my point here and then some. Original anime are amazing and they really need more love. Here at Beyond the Bot, we believe that there is no wrong way to watch anime, but we also believe that there is no wrong time to give a different kind of anime from the one you're used to a chance. I really hope this video helped to shed some light on some amazing anime creators because they deserve all the love in the world. What are your favorite original anime? Let me know in the comments. I'm Dorrie, and thank you so much for watching Beyond the Bot, your neighborhood anime club. Watch ODDTAXI, watch original anime, goodbye. Whoosh.
Don't check Dorrie's kitchen.
Yeah, don't go into my kitchen. Don't come to my house, please. Hello everybody, it is me, and I have a giant ditto on my lap. We are best friends now, ever since I found him at a carnival at the dart throwing stand. Thank you so much for watching. It was really nice to be able to do a video deep dive again. I think video deep dives are probably my absolute favorite kind of videos to make, so if you guys have any suggestions for like new ideas for video deep dives, please let a girl know because I want to make more. Huge thanks over to our Patreon team with the big ups to Sugar Joe, Andrew M, Drew Uranus, Critical225, Kyle, and Eric Tortorapatu. Ditto thanks you, as well as I do. What anime or manga out there do you want to get into, but due to the fandom or sheer amount of content out there just makes it too daunting to even bother? For me, it's gotta be the Lupin the Third franchise. I saw the Castle Cagliostro for the Botcast, and I really love that movie, and I wanted to get into more, but I don't really know where to start, but I want to get into it, so if you guys have any suggestions for like a good place to start when it comes to Lupin the Third, like let a girl know. Once again, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Ditto use transform.